What's up, guys? It's Corsi from Gaming Legit. I got a hot cup of coffee right in front of me. Let's do a commentary. I'm going to be doing some Bad Company 2 for you. I haven't posted Bad Company 2 for a while, and I'm just going to say this. Hopefully it doesn't piss too many people off, but this is my favorite game. I think this is the best shooter that's out. This game is infinite with what it provides for you. And yeah, maybe it doesn't have the customization that Black Ops has, but as far as destructibility, the sheer map size, the arrangement of vehicles, you can switch up your weapons, and snipers are actually useful. I love the aiming in this game. I love how weapons shoot. I think that this game has got the best of it all. Some expectations I have for Battlefield 3, which I'll be talking about slightly in this commentary, is that I hope there's going to be more customization. I did read the latest GameInformer, which is about a 4-page article on Battlefield 3, talking with one of the developers and the designers of the game, asking him some questions and is bouncing off some of his replies. And I'm going to be kind of foreshadowing that in this commentary slightly. I hope there's more customization as far as weapons go, more unlocks for the weapons. But, you know, the more that you play this game, the more you figure out that you have more options than you thought of. Now, I like the update that they did that allowed the M14 and the GL, which are weapons that are accessible through any of the classes. They're kind of like the extras. I like that they finally let you put a red dot and an ACOG scope. Adds a new thing to the game. I like the fact that almost all the guns do get an ACOG and a red dot, and that's it, and that the engineer is specific to the silencers. I like that. I like all that addition. I don't think that you should have full reign to put silencer on every single weapon. Like, I understand it, the customize, you know, how keeping customizable options like that, and that it's kind of like real war. Like, you could put a silencer on this in real life if you wanted to, but this is a video game. They're kind of balancing, kind of making certain classes have certain features that other classes don't have and making them unique on their own. So I like that, and I'm interested to see how they're going to do that in Battlefield 3, if they're going to keep and maintain that. So, like, for engineers, that they're going to keep the silencers and they're not going to allow them on assault rifles. I hope they actually do that, because I think there's something special about that. You know, I know that people like to have full customizable options for it, but it's nice when they limit you and it forces you to use classes for what the designers intended them to be used for. Makes everything special and unique in the game itself. They talked about some in Battlefield 3, this directing towards the GameInformer article that I read. That one of the questions asked was something that's very unique about Black Ops that appeals to a lot of people. A lot of the questions were relating to Black Ops, and I know people get pissed at that, but let me get into this first before I continue to start talking about the guy that was asking him, or the game developer DICE, questions. He was referencing Black Ops a lot because EA is trying to come up with a game that's it's a Call of Duty killer. That's what they're calling it. Something that is going to take the sales from Call of Duty and bring it to EA. They kind of have this like rival going on. There's some lawsuits and stuff like that, but I won't even get into that. And they're hoping that Battlefield 3 is going to be that game. It's gonna be the game to go to. It's going to beat the Call of Duty. And Call of Duty, the only way it's going to be able to compete is if it goes towards the MMO direction. That's kind of what I'm hearing, and honestly, that's where it should go, because this game is so vast and it's so big that Call of Duty just doesn't offer me enough. I get bored of that game so fast. It's so limited. When this game, I mean, just with the fact that I can destroy a building and hop on an ATV because there's action going on the other side of the map, and I have to drive over to that location. It's just incredible. And the lighting in this game is off the chain. The new engine, the Frostbite 2, is going to bring totally new graphics and totally new lighting effects and destructibility and stuff like that, which is going to make the game even better. So it's going to be absolutely remarkable. But on the topic of relating Black Ops to EA, or rather DICE, or some of these other games, the reason for it is that competitive value. It's all about the sales. That's the reason why they relate them. They're both first-person shooters, so because of that, they are relatable, and they're war-based, kind of modern warfare type of thing going on. It's not like you're relating Marvel vs. Capcom to a first-person shooter. It's not, off the wall, like this crazy comparison. It's a valued comparison, and it's all about sales, basically, between the different companies. So that being said, one of the questions that the GameInformer dude asked the Battlefield 3 designer, one of the designers of the developers, was that what are you going to do for customizable options? Like, are you going to make your characters unique? Because one thing that was in Battlefield 2 that wasn't as appealing as it is in Call of Duty is that in Call of Duty you have a lot of customizable things with face paint. Really make your guy look the way you want to, with the, putting stuff on your guns and stuff like that. Are you going to be able to make people look different in this game? And I like how the designer replied. He talked about customizable options are nice or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But there's something you need to be able to look like your team. You're supposed to look like a certain type of person. And so he kind of dabbled in that there's going to be some customizable options, but you're not going to have freelance ability to make your guy wear like a pink bonnet while you're running around, because that's just silly. It doesn't make any sense. So that's nice. They're not, the cheese factor's getting out, and they're sticking to that competitive route where it's like, hey, listen, like, we don't need to add all that frilly extra stuff into our game. That's not the point of it. The point is to make a nice balanced online, and I really appreciate that about Battlefield, and it makes me even more excited for Battlefield 3. Some of the other stuff they talked about that I briefly mentioned was that the new engine of Frostbite 2, and I've seen some screenshots, especially that were in the GameInformer, several screenshots. I like what they're doing with the HUD. It's very nice. It looks like futuristic-esque, but it's just really pretty. It's not something that is distasteful to me at all. I'm looking forward to playing with it on my screen. The graphics are a step up for sure to this game. The lighting effects are going to double even more, and I'm guessing the sound is going to be just as impeccable as it is in this game. Like, there's still not a first-person shooter that relates to this game as far as sound. And if you don't have headphones, really nice headphones, you're not really getting the full game, because I mean, you put on my Turtle Beach X41s, like, those things are gauged to 7.1 digital surround sound, so they're like really nice headphones. And it just blows my mind every single time I play this game to the sound. Look at the lighting effects. I mean, you lose visibility when you look towards the horizon. And there's shadows coming through all the different leaves. The lighting effect in this game is absolutely tremendous. People kind of hit on this game because of the graphics. It's all the polygon ratios. Well, Call of Duty's got more polygons going on. That's the corners and the edges to all the different guns and stuff. That's why certain things look better, or certain games look better than other ones, because they have more polygon options, so they can put in more details. But the Frostbite 2, another thing that they mentioned was that as a game developer, having Frostbite 2 is the best gaming engine today to use to make the best game. So basically, he was saying, I mean, it's kind of biased somewhat because he's working for the company, but he's saying that it is the best engine to use for designing a game because it's so crazy good. It's impeccable. Like, you talked about that they can't tap the thing out. They basically made Battlefield 3 everything destructible. That's what they said. I don't know what that means completely. So even though you're able to destroy buildings and fences and most all environment things, trees and stuff in Battlefield, there's stuff that you are limited to that you can't destruct. And it sounds like in Battlefield 3, those limitations that aren't destructible in Battlefield 2, Bad Company 2, are going to be destructible in Battlefield 3. And it's not going to pull away from the gameplay. It's not going to slow down. You're not going to lose frame rate or anything like that, just because the engine that they're using is so phenomenal. So just that enhancement on the engine alone, like, regardless if it was, bringing in more destructibility and kind of new weapons and stuff like that, making a Bad Company 2 with like just some touches here and there, I would buy the game just on that alone, just because this game's so phenomenal in that aspect. Some of the other stuff that they talked about were different. Something you probably heard of, they're going to be adding prone back to the game, back to Battlefield. So it's going to prone, if you don't know, it gives you the ability to lay down flat. That's in a Call of Duty game. Look at this. That is just funky. No registration right there, man. My internet is just absolutely horrible. So I was kind of cautious about that when I heard firstly about the prone ability, and I was kind of unsure about it because I could just see it being abused. I could just see a bunch of bushwookies laying down in a bush, being basically 100% invisible. There's no way you'd be able to tell that they're there unless you're like standing on top of them and shooting across the whole map at you. And also, when you put in prone, it might slow down the game, so people are going to be playing less objectively because they know they can hide a lot easier. So people are going to be a lot more campy. I hope that doesn't happen. But in response, that was one of the questions that the GameInformer writer asked the new Battlefield 3 designer, and he said he addressed all those issues right off the start. I mean, he identified everything that I'm worried about, and he said, our job as the designer is to make it so that these things don't happen, whether that is putting some kind of bullet trace on the snipes, so that you can see where they are regardless of their laying down, and making it so that that they're alive when they're laying there. I don't know, just design aspects for the game. We'll see when the game comes out for the beta, because we will be able to play the beta, and I will for sure be posting a lot of those videos coming out. I'm super excited about this game. Homefront's going to be coming out, and it's supposed to be the big MMO, but now that I've seen Battlefield, the new engine, some of the picks, I don't know if Homefront's going to be a solid game to play up until Battlefield 3 comes out. We'll see. There's a lot of competition going on. I like that, though. It provides us with a variety of different things. That being said, too, there's a reason why I post a variety of different gameplays. I know some people are kind of... I have a variety of different subscribers, and I love that. I love that you guys will watch Battlefield, Halo Reach, upcoming Homefront when I post that, Killzone 3. I got PS3, Xbox, PC. I got a variety of different subscribers. You guys aren't particular to one set of game like the big shot commentators that are super popular on YouTube that just strictly post Call of Duty. And that's something super special to you subscribers, and I super appreciate that. It's just absolutely massive. I just kind of brought it up because I'm posting a variety of different videos. But Battlefield's definitely my homeboy. I love Battlefield. It's like the best game ever. Mad love. As far as the class in this game that you're watching goes, I'm using the M95. No particular reason. I actually do favor the M24 and the GOL. I'll take the M24 over the GOL, but those are my top two snipers. I love those very much. I just pretty much was posting the M95 just because I don't post too much, sniper gameplay with the M95. And I know I do post gameplay with the snipers quite a bit, but Harvest Day is one of those maps that's so massive. It's one of the newer maps too, if you guys haven't been able to play it or seen any footage of it. This is kind of a new map. It's a giant open map. It's a giant playing field, like kind of pinned between these mountains and hills that kind of surround the area. Vehicles are massive in this game. And that's something that I don't really highlight well in this. And to be successful in Conquest, you do need to be using those vehicles to get over to the Conquest and to cover large distances rather quickly. But this is one of those lobbies that you kind of just fall into. You just kind of do a quick join or whatever, and you get into a game that's already way down in tickets, and you just get absolutely destroyed over and over. I know the game's following, we just got absolutely crushed regardless of how many Conquest points it seemed like I captured. Just is kind of a trend that goes on in Conquest. There's always one team that completely destroys the other team. I kind of needed to preface that so people weren't like wondering, you're not playing objectively, blah 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 blah. Yeah. I'm not a one-man army. So in closing this video, what I would like to see is your guys' opinions, high hopes, expectations, things you're looking forward to, stuff I missed relating to Battlefield 3. I can honestly say that Battlefield 3 is going to be the best game of the year when that game comes out. For me personally, whatever someone else says, I don't really care. It's the enjoyable factor. And Battlefield's sold me so much on the enjoyable factor compared to other games just from everything it has within it. So I'm curious to see what you guys have for the comments, so please leave those. Don't forget to rate. Join me on Facebook.com/GamingLegit. Got a great community on there. God bless. Love you guys. I'll see you in upcoming vids.